What's happening, y'all? Welcome to the Beastiary. I'm Blak, and today's episode's gonna be on something that's all over the world, found all over the world in one form or another, and goes all the way back to as far as or farther than ancient Greece and ancient Rome. I'm talking about goatmen or satyrs, and these creatures are very, very strange. Essentially, they are part goat and part man. This we're talking about the the very form that is oftentimes given to the devil himself in literature and religious practices. Now, this is some very interesting stuff, guys, and I enjoyed myself researching about it. Of course, I already knew a little bit about a few of these things, like the Blak monster or the Lakeworth monster, but let me learn you something. Now, what you need to know about the Blak monster is it's a legendary part man, part goat, and sometimes part sheep creature, reported to live beneath a railroad trestle bridge over Blak Creek in the Fisherville neighborhood of Louisville, Kentucky. Now, numerous legends, urban legends, exist about the creature's origins and the methods it employs to claim its victims. Now, according to some accounts, this creature uses either hypnosis or voice mimicry to lure trespassers onto the trestle to meet their deaths, before an oncoming train. Other stories claim the monster jumps down from the trestle onto the roofs of cars passing beneath it, and yet other legends tell that it attacks its victims with a blood-stained axe, and that the very sight of the creature is so unsettling that those who see it while walking across the high trestle are driven to leap off to their deaths. Other legends hold that the monster is a human-goat hybrid, and that it was a circus freak who vowed revenge after being mistreated. Now, in one version, it is said the monster escaped after a train derailed on the trestle. Another version, commonly told by the locals of the area, claims that the monster is really the twisted, reincarnated form of a farmer who sacrificed goats in exchange for satanic powers. The legends have turned the area into a site for legend tripping. There have been a number of deaths and accidents at the trestle since its construction, despite the presence of an 8-foot or 2.4-meter fence to keep thrill seekers out. There is a common misconception among amateur paranormal investigators that the trestle is abandoned and no longer used, when in reality the bridge carries a major rail line into Louisville. Heavy freight trains cross the bridge several times each day, so it's easy for someone to get caught atop it while on an oncoming train, while it barrels down on them. Now, Norfolk Southern Railway urged citizens not to climb the trestle, saying if caught they would be arrested. Now, let's move on for a minute, if we can, to the Goatman of Maryland. And it refers to a legendary half-goat, half-human cryptid that has the head and hindquarters of a goat, but the body of a human. Now, according to urban legend, the Goatman is an axe-wielding, half-animal, half-man creature that was once a scientist who worked in the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center. Now, the tale holds that he was experimenting on goats until one experiment backfired, and he was mutated and became goat-like himself. He then began attacking cars with an axe, roaming the back roads of Beltsville, Maryland. And a variation of the legend tells of the Goatman as an old hermit who lives in the woods, seen walking alone at night along Fletchertown Road. The story seems to originate with an alleged sighting in 1957. The Goatman is also said to have murdered a number of hikers in 1962. One variation of the story has it that the Goatman was the result of a very early DNA experiment conducted by a scientist named Stephen Fletcher. Though Other variations suggest a more supernatural origin involving the devil. University of Maryland folklorist Barry Lee Pearson has said that modern examples of folk legends like the Goatman are most commonly generated by teenagers, and the stories end up stirring interest in sites like Fletchertown Road. The Maryland Goatman has many similarities to the Goatmen of Oregon, the only difference being that the Goatman of Oregon has significantly smaller horns, such as that of a baby goat, though the Oregon Goatman is also full grown. Now, the third and final Goatman story or legend that I will be discussing on this episode is the Lake Worth monster. Now, the Lake Worth monster is a North American cryptid also. It's reported to live in and around Lake Worth just outside Fort Worth, Texas. Numerous sightings in July 1969 led to the belief of a half-man, half-goat creature living in and around Lake Worth in Texas. Terry Deckard, a reporter, wrote an article about it in the newspaper, which made the front page. Now, the headline read, "Fishy man-goat terrifies couples parked at Lake Worth." The couples that reported the sightings described it as a half-man, half-goat with fur and scales. A man named Tommy Burson soon after reported the creature landed on his car after jumping out of a tree. An 18-inch scar on the side of his car was shown by Burson as proof. Now, the police at this point decided to investigate. Up until then, they had laughed at any reports they'd received about this creature, thinking it was a hoax, The following night, reports came in of the creature hurling a tire from a bluff at overlooking bystanders, which was reportedly witnessed by up to 10 individuals. Alright? 10 all at once saying the same thing. The most well-known photograph, and perhaps the only one of the creature, belongs to a woman named Deborah Graby, or Grabby, I guess is how you say her name. Forgive me if I butcher it. Who received the photo from Alan Plester, who took the picture in October 1969 near Lake Worth during the tire throwing incident. And people, these three are just three examples of the numerous legends of these goat-like satyr creatures who roam the woods and cliffs all over this fucking planet. And there's a shitload of these legends here in the United States alone, and we really need to start chronicling this shit, and get a good amount of info on them, because even if they are not real, even if they do not exist, the stories themselves are fascinating, and there's a lot we can learn about these creatures, about ourselves, and if these creatures are real, if they really are real, just imagine what we could learn. But I guess that's it for this episode of the Beastiary. I hope you learned something. If not, I hope you were at least entertained a little bit. And until next time, I'm Blak. Take it easy.